Plants can be extremely annoying. Perhaps you've had to clean up after a tree that shed its leaves or weeds on the ground. Sometimes these little inconveniences can make us not think of the other ways that plants actually end up helping us a lot more than we could ever imagine. As kids, a lot of us would dream of having some sort of tree house or outside fort to play in, and that is just one great example of how people can integrate plants into into their natural living spaces and be enjoyed by all ages. It is a functional tree houses are a functional living structure, and you don't have to care about the environment or tree houses to take advantage of the other benefits that plants can provide to us in their in integration in construction. Hi, I am Jade, and I'm here to inform you about ways that plants are useful and add to urban living spaces. So, there are some general benefits of plants on your mood. They are found to reduce anxiety greatly, and there are many sources that back that up. One such source is by Nicole van den Boogaard at Vrije University of the Netherlands in 2021. He posted the Journal of Environmental Psychology, and it was a study that mainly focused on potted plants. These potted plants would affect mood and study success, which was hypothesized. And he figured out that with a presence of plants, more people studied more efficiently. And here we can see a diagram of the study spaces that he utilized for this study. He showed one people into a room with no plants and just blank chairs, and another room with these potted plants in the area to determine what people would do and think about their environment as they're studying. And it did show that the presence of potted plants was positively associated with study room attractiveness. And this is an impressive amount of gains, and out of 105 students who chose to report their reasons why they would or wouldn't come back, 76 of those 105 said they would come back because of the atmosphere and because it felt homey and more relaxing to be around these plants, while 29 said either that they would not, but that was either because they didn't notice the effect that the plants had on them, or they did not add any value to them. In my second source about anxiety in plants, it was conducted in 2022 in China during isolation from the coronavirus, and a post was made by International Journal of Low Carbon Tech that showed findings of a decrease in anxiety and the physical 61% of surveyed people supported that these reduced anxiety, that plants in their homes reduced anxiety, and they showed us the actual survey that they used, which was really interesting. It shows types of plants and different levels of anxiety and stuff. Usually sources like this will only tell you the questions and such that they ask, so I thought that was incredibly interesting, and you could almost take the survey for yourself, which I thought was cool. The article also showed that that there are also physical benefits to consider when these plants are added. So when people experience better mental states, they might also be experienced that because plants provide better air filtration, air quality, and higher oxygen levels, and it prevents the room from feeling stuffy and bad. And it's really essential to consider when designing a place to make sure air is filtered properly, and plants can definitely help with that process. Many more complex and interesting ways exist that architecture of the past has used plants and they've even made self-fixing bridges. So tree bridges were shown to me by Professor Seuss in my Botany 1 class, and these are some examples of those. These tree bridges are made from rubber fig trees, and they're made by having one sapling on either side of a river, and the roots are slowly moved across to close the gap, and they're interweaved with each other. Katie Hunt's CNN Wire Service article of 2019 says that they can stretch for around 50 meters and last for hundreds of years, which is essential to connecting small villages together. I think I might cut a source here because well, they're more importantly, integration of plants is more important in cities due to the higher density of people, and so we will focus on that for the rest of the speech. Urban uses of plants involve vertical plant architecture, which involves plants being grown on walls and such in the space that nobody is using. And Burkhalter, which is a leading international published architecture, landscaping, and design business, posted many uses for plants in a publication called Living Systems in 2007. And one such example is an old decommissioned fire escape that was salvaged and was used to plant native and exotic plants, which are a good attraction for people to come and see and helps preserve these exotic plants. And green walls can be used to both create air filters with positive microbes that filter the air from, and sectioned walls that will provide more air filtration and oxygen production in your living space. Engineers at MIT proposed the next generation of glowing plants in 2021, and while they developed a very effective glowing plant, they started in 2017 with a fairly efficient plant, and now Kennedy, the professor of MIT, shows that they produce 10 times brighter plants than their first generation. He also states plants might replace our current unsustainable electrical lighting grid for the benefit of all plant-dependent species. And lowering electricity bills and making glowing houseplants sounds like a pretty awesome deal to me. In conclusion, we learned many benefits of keeping plants around, and they seem limitless, whether to improve health, build bridges, or light up a room. People expand inevitably. Keeping living flora as we take down environments can provide people with great services that are always improving. Thanks.